Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your source for Second Amendment news. You know, this past week, some craziness has come out of Chicago. Everybody knows Chicago is the gun utopia of the world if you're a gun control freak. It is the strongest bubble of anti-Second Amendment bills and laws, yet it has the worst record for gun violence in the country. Most of that is gang violence, and it seems more and more evident that the powers that be are powerless, have no spine, and are afraid to do what needs to be done. And Cook County is the county where Chicago lies. And the commissioner of that county is Richard Boykin, B-O-Y-K-I-N, and another Obama crony. But Boykin has flat out refused help from the federal government. The National Guard can come in, the FBI can take over. They've done that in several police departments across the country where there were allegations of, police officers taking bribes or being on the take or just not doing what they're supposed to do. The state police can step in and help too. But he's refusing all that stuff and actually is asking for the United Nations to come into to Cook County, to Chicago, to try to help secure Chicago. The United Nations, a foreign body of troops who do nothing worldwide other than to usually make matters worse. And the key point is the United Nations is hell-bent on disarming Americans, law-abiding citizens. They have numerous small arms treaties in which they are trying their damnedest to get America to adopt. We almost did under that Obama administration craziness. In fact, we're actually in one of them, which we should be getting out of, hopefully soon. But this, let me read you some quotes from this guy just to show you how insane these liberal progressives are. And people just keep eating the pudding, drinking the Kool-Aid. This is crazy. So Boykin, again, is refusing any help from the Trump administration. Excuse me. This whole house is as sick as a dog, and I think I'm getting it, unfortunately. So, excuse me if I get a little raspy. What he said was, quote, "I'm hoping to appeal to the UN to actually come to Chicago and meet with victims of violence, and maybe even possibly help out in terms of peacekeeping efforts, because I think it's so crucial for us to make sure that these neighborhoods are safe." What? This guy wants a foreign military, for lack of a better term. He wants foreign troops on the United States soil. Ain't happening, pal. Ain't happening. Oh, my God. So don't do anything about it, right? Don't step in and enforce law, right? Just run around like a bunch of freaking cowards and let the riffraff take over the city, and then beg and plead that some other entity in the world will help you. Man, grow a sack, grab them and shake them, and do what needs to be done. He continues when talking about the United Nations, saying, quote, "So we must protect these population groups, and that's what the United Nations does. They're a peacekeeping force. They know all about keeping the peace, and so we're hopeful that they'll hear our appeal." Hell no, pal. Love them or hate them, the NRA has been watching and keeping an eye on the UN for the better part of 20 years because they're so hell-bent and so hostile towards us, the armed citizen, here legally, law-abiding people, us. Our guns are not on the street, but they want our guns. The UN wants to disarm us. And then they went to Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, Obama's buddy. And this is what he said. "We're going through a process of reinvigorating community policing, building trust between relationships in the community and law enforcement," which him and his buddy Obama have been destroying those bonds from law enforcement and the community for 8 years. They destroyed the relationship that police have all over this country. They caused an all-out war on police. They don't want you to remember that, though. He says that the National Guard is antithetical to the spirit of what community policing is. When you call in the National Guard, they're there to, kick ass and take names and secure stuff. Unless they're helping, like, if you're in a flood zone, you know, a tornado, that's different. But when they're coming in to secure something, they're not coming with freaking binkies and teddy bears and blankies. Sorry, Rom, doesn't happen that way. And don't forget that Emmanuel, not too long ago, boasted Chicago as a Trump-free zone and a city that he'll never sleep in. And those are the people who lead that city. No wonder why it's a shithole. For those law-abiding, good, honest Americans in Chicago, I feel for you. And I hope that help is on its way, but not from the UN. I hope that you guys vote in some leadership that cares about you and not the progressive agenda, because they're sacrificing you, basically. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon, especially if you're in Chicago. Take care, everybody.